How's it going, everyone? This is Kawazuchi speaking. Welcome to the next 5-minute review, more or less, of a game called Blood Omen: Legacy of Kain. So to give you a little explanation, Blood Omen is a action-adventure game developed by Silicon Knights and published by Crystal Dynamics, released on November 1st, 1996, both for the PlayStation 1 and Windows, or Microsoft Windows, depending on how you want to call it. So to give you a quick review, the game has amazing music and great atmosphere when it comes to how the story is being told, where you are being headed towards, the places that you couldn't go before. You immediately get a power-up or something along the lines after defeating the section, where you now have a new power-up. You can now go to that next area that you weren't able to go before, and you'll be able to easily pinpoint as to where you need to go next, which is pretty awesome. Not only that, they do give you a transformation of a wolf that makes you move even faster. So even if you do what I do, and that's go from the beginning and go right back to the top where you left off, just manually walking through everything, it won't actually take that long, even though it might feel like it will. I personally enjoyed the combat. It is a little bit repetitive, but you do get used to it, and there's a pretty OP magic spell that they give you, which is pretty amazing, that would help you throughout the entire game. The story is good, but a little bit confusing, so considering the fact that like the first 6 hours of me playing the game, I wasn't able to listen to Kain, which is the character that you control, very well. It kind of sucked, but I did have a lot of trouble at first figuring out what the hell it is I needed to do. But if you're while you're playing it and you listen to what the guy is telling you, the game actually does a super well job to tell you where it is you need to go, or the general area of where you have to go, which is pretty awesome. But again, it is a good storyline, but it is a little bit confusing. The game has a lot of power-ups slash weapon choices to use. Like, for instance, a lot of, I think like 4 different armor sets and 4 different weapons that you can pick up somewhere along that line. Not really sure 100% as to what that line would be, but it is like 4 or 5 different armors slash weapons, which is really awesome. Big amount of items that you can use throughout the playthrough. Quite a fair enough amount of magic spells that you can use, as well as transformations. Another awesome thing about the game is the UI. So the game actually gives you like hot buttons for what transformations you want to use, what power-ups you want to use, and what items you want to use by simply holding a button down, which is really awesome. The only downfall for it is that it does not give you a button pressed down to give you like quick access to your weapons. But that being said, considering that the game came out in 1996, like just the amount of hot fixes that they gave you, or quick menus that they gave you to quickly access your items without having to press start and doing it manually, is really awesome. And the reason why I say that is because loading for the PlayStation 1, since that's the one I played on, is really bad. Like, it's just pretty slow. It's not that bad, but it is slow if you're constantly pressing start. The descriptions for every single thing that you get to pick up is really freaking awesome. It definitely did a super well job for something that you weren't really expecting back then, considering that a lot of what you got in this game, Blood Omen, it's nowhere near the amount of things that you would see nowadays for whatever reason, you know, whether if it's time constraints or it would just make the process too long, you know, whatever it is. It's a lot of what they give you that you kind of wish that you would get in a large majority of the games nowadays, which is really nice. Another bad thing would be hard to see the buttons, so if you need to press a button to open a door, it's sometimes really difficult to find that said button just because of how dark the game is. The game does give you a give me light magic spell so you can light up the room. It does use magic, obviously, but it's not that bad. It just sucks when you're constantly having to either switch magic spells and trying to figure out something that already looks like the background, like for instance brown on brown. They do put lights on said buttons that you need to press, but they're not always like 100% visible right away, so you're just sort of having to run around having to find said buttons. But again, you kind of get used to it the more you play. It is also hard to tell if you're hitting the bosses. So like the first 2-3 bosses, I'm just sort of running around attacking them to see if I'm even doing damage to begin with. And then some other times it's just who's gonna die first before the boss dies kind of situation. And you're just running around like, I guess I'm doing damage. Like you can't really tell if because they're either not making a sound or you just can't hear it very well, considering that there's other stuff happening throughout the room, which kind of blows. But again, the more you play it, the more you get used to it, the more you figure out whether what you're doing is right or wrong. And even if you don't figure it out, they do give you one magic spell that's pretty damn OP that helps 100% throughout the entire run. I don't know at what point you get it, because I can't remember, because I didn't actually start using it till way later. But that said magic spell can definitely help you on whether to find out if you are doing damage towards the bosses or not. Won't mention what that is, but there is a spell that can help you without having to just constantly die. And just in general, bad hitboxes, like sometimes you can be inside of an item, because in this case they make it look like cards, and Kain just won't pick it up, so you're just wondering to yourself, what the hell is wrong with this picture? So yeah, like what you see is definitely not the hitbox that you would be expecting. But yeah, the game, I did play this as a kid, but I only did like the first 20 minutes, so keep in mind that even though I only played the first 20 minutes, which is not a lot, because I'm talking about back when I was probably 15 years old, maybe younger, wouldn't have gotten me very far. But the game in general was actually a lot more fun than I was expecting. Even though the combat is rather repetitive, it's still super fun. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe it was because I played it as a kid that I thought the game was amazing, but I don't know. The more I played it, the more fun I was having. And yeah, like I was complaining like the first stream as to I can't do this, or I can't hear that, or I'm too damn confused, can't see the buttons. But the more I played it, the more I got into it. The game does have cutscenes. The game itself looks really good, and the cutscenes look amazing for back in that day. Not only that, but again, you can actually zoom out of the game, because when you first start the game, I guess the game expects you to play like that super zoomed in version, and I was playing it for about 10 minutes. I'm like, the camera looks really bad the way it moves while you're moving, and everything is super close to you. Like, what the hell is this? And then while I was just messing around pressing all the buttons on my controller, I found out that there was a zoom in, zoom out button. I was just like, oh man, thank you for that, because it would have been horrible to do like 12 to 15 hours of a game just super zoomed in and trying to figure out what the hell it is I needed to do and how to see all of these things coming at me. When the game does not tell you that it's there. But for the game releasing in 1996, what it does and how it does it is amazing, because you don't always get that even in today's day for whatever reason, you know, a good reason, bad reason, takes too long, whatever. it does super well. So I would definitely suggest you try this game if you can, or if not, for whatever reason, check out a playthrough. I'll be releasing mine eventually. Don't know when, but eventually. For all I know, the playthrough might be out by the time the review comes out. I have no idea, because I have a lot on my plate, so I'll do it whenever it happens. But I would definitely suggest to give this a try if for whatever reason it might sound fun. It definitely was for me, but you know, if you're just not into the graphics, then you'll probably not like it, because it's not going to change. Not sure if I missed anything, but I also don't want to go into spoiler region whatsoever for this game. But do I suggest it? Hell yeah, I do. There's a lot more games in the Legacy of Games series. There's quite a big number of games, actually, but this one's the very first one. It did the job super well, and I hope you give it a shot one day or another by whatever means. And with that, I think I am done. I'll just head out, otherwise I'll probably just continue repeating myself. And hope to see you on the next one. Take care.